All right, this has been a long time coming, and I am so excited to finally make a full review of this. And this is my guitar from MJT Custom Guitars. Hey everyone, I'm Dave with Beast Made Reviews, of course, a channel dedicated to reviewing quality at different price points. A couple of years ago, I was in the market for a Telecaster guitar. I initially went to a different company looking for them to make a custom build for me. That ended up not going through like I was hoping. I'll have a video about that in the future because that is a whole tale in and of itself. So yeah, in the process of getting a Telecaster, I landed on MJT Custom Guitars. And I'm not sure exactly how I found them, but I know that Worship Tutorials on YouTube, they had a video about their Telecaster guitar that they made through MJT Customs, and they were really excited about that and they love it. So maybe that was all I needed, and I went with it and I got this. To give you a long and short, I am completely blown away by this guitar. MJT absolutely knocked it out of the park and then some. It is one of the best guitars, if not the best guitar I have ever played. It is absolutely mind-blowing how good this is. They're not paying me, they didn't sponsor this video, but this is such an amazing guitar that I've got to tell you about it. Now, MJT Customs was started by Mark Jenny and I believe his dad as well. They started by making finishes on guitars, and that's still kind of what they specialize in, finishes of guitars. And as you can see by this is a burgundy mist color, and it has a little bit of aging to it, which we'll get to in just a minute. But you can actually send your guitar to them and they will age it for you if you want. They'll refinish it. They have a finish on finish if you want that, where there's two different color finishes, and they can age it from anything to closet clean, which is absolutely perfect, to maybe looking like it just came out of a fire. Now, they can make you a full guitar, a kind of pretty much custom guitar. They don't necessarily use the word custom, but it is as custom as it can get with these type of guitars. They have a few different models of guitars on their website. They have a Jazzmaster, Telecaster, a Thinline Telecaster, Stratocaster type of guitar, and even a Telemaster or a Jazzcaster. I forgot what it is, but the Jazzmaster body with a Telecaster layout, which is really cool. I think they also have basses, and they may even have a couple more options that I wasn't aware of. And of course, with each option, you get as much or as little aging as you want for each guitar. So you can get the full guitar already made and everything with the case ready to go if you want to do that, or you can do what's called a full kit. And that's what I went with. Now, the full kit is everything being ready, doesn't have any electronics, so you have to put in the electronics yourself. You have to put in your own pickups if you want that, and you have to assemble everything. Or of course, you can go with a full build, which is everything already made with the pickups already installed, and a case if you want a case, everything already done. And of course, I got everything in a box. I got all the hardware. There were no holes in the guitar at all, so I had to drill the own holes, and I had to assemble everything together. As for price, you can go and check their website for prices. After everything is said and done, I'm not exactly sure how much I spent because there were some things that were upcharges that I wasn't aware of, which is kind of a negative there. But all things considered, this is still an incredible value. This is not even half of what a custom guitar would be from Fender. That's amazing, because this is, in my eyes, just as good as a custom Telecaster from Fender. Now, whenever you get a guitar through MJT Customs, they give you kind of a long list of things that you can get for your build. What color do you want? How much aging do you want? Different choices for hardware, pickups, your pick guard color, what kind of knobs you want, and then all the choices on the neck, what radius you want, what frets you want, what dots you want, what fretboard you want, if you want a painted headstock, if you want a double bound, if you want a comfort cut, lots of different options, every option you can think of. Now, I did a couple of different things with this one. First of all, it's a little bit uncommon with the wood choices. The body is actually pine. Typically with Telecasters, you'll get ash, swamp ash, or alder. I got pine in this case. It's very light and it is very balanced in the hand. I'm actually thrilled that I got pine. It is fantastic, really resonant too. Really loud. I cannot be more pleased with how this is. I mean, I'm just blown away. The neck is a quarter sawn maple, not uncommon. The fretboard, though, is Cadillacs. And that's not something that I had heard of before. And when they were asking me what choices I want, I chose one that was already made to save time. And this was one that I chose. It had Cadillacs. I decided to go with it. I was going to go with just a maple board, but I decided to go with it because looking on the wood database, it said it was kind of like ebony. So I figured that is a good thing to have for a board, so I chose that one, and yeah, it's fantastic. It looks like rosewood, plays like ebony, it's fantastic. The neck carve that I got was a very common one that they have. I forgot what it was, but 63 or something like that. It is a very comfortable, kind of medium C shape neck that I think a lot of people will be familiar with. Maybe a little bit thicker than a medium, but it is very, very nice. I love it. And as for the finish on this, they put a nitro finish on all their guitars that is very thin, and it is super thin. The thinnest finish I've ever seen. I actually like that. Some people might not. I think it ages and wears in really well, and I think it just looks really cool. And I got a little bit of light wear on this. It's not closet clean. It's about a step up from that. And through the process, they'll spray it down and age it and then ask you if you want more aging, which I thought was pretty cool. I thought everything looked pretty good, but then I asked them to put a little bit of buckle rash on the back so I don't have to worry about it. They also asked how much checking do you want on the clear coat, and I said I wanted a little bit of checking, so you might be able to see a little bit of checking here and there in the light. Now, of course, this is burgundy mist. I knew that I wanted to get burgundy mist for the guitar. This is a great burgundy mist. I went with a double bound body, which I love, a single ply pick guard. I had the Cavalier pickups, which is the Lion King in the neck and the Oildale in the bridge, and this is just a killer combination. It is so good. The Lion King, it doesn't sound woofy at all, but it still sounds like a Telecaster neck. It doesn't sound like a Strat neck. And the Oildale sounds like a Telecaster, but doesn't have the ice pick. So it's the best of both worlds. It still sounds like a Telecaster, but without the worst failings of how the earliest one sounded. I love kind of how hollow the neck sounds. I love how bright and clear, but not ear piercing the bridge is. It's so good. And as you can see with this pickguard, this is a Thinline layout, but it is not hollow body. This is a solid body telecaster. And that was one of the things I requested. They make a Thinline body so they can make that route, so it wasn't hard for them to do that. I like the layout and the aesthetics better on a Thinline, but I like the sound and the feel more of a solid body. I had the option of what to choose for the knobs, whether I wanted the domed knobs or just the flat barrel knobs. I like the barrel ones better, so I got those. I'm not exactly sure the brand of the hardware, but it is solid. It is very, very good. And I got the compensated brass saddles here. The frets on this, I believe, are jumbo. I'm not sure, maybe a medium jumbo. They don't look super huge, but they're pretty big. They're not the biggest I've ever seen, so I think that's just a medium jumbo. I'm not exactly sure the size. The fret radius is a 12-inch radius. I got clay dots. I believe the nut width is 1 11/16. And another thing to mention is that when it arrives, you'll have to set everything up yourself. Like the neck itself, when it arrived, came very sharp. Both the fretboard and the frets themselves were very sharp. So I had to get a little file, knock off the burrs off the edges, get some sandpaper, and just smooth out the sides of the fretboard itself. And now it is very smooth. And let me get to a couple of things that I changed real quick. I changed some of the things with the hardware. It comes with kind of the standard Telecaster hardware for strap buttons. I changed that. I got some strap buttons through StewMac. They're Waverly strap buttons, I believe they're called, but they're wonderful. They look beautiful. I wanted to have matching strap buttons on here, and I think they do a great job. Another great thing about these strap buttons is that they're countersunk. So when you screw these in, if the strap button turns, it's not going to unscrew it from the body, which is great. I got some felts for the strap buttons, which the hardware did not come with. The nut that they give you is just a bone blank, which I was a little upset about. I didn't know it came with a bone blank. So I bought a nut, and what I went with was the compensated Irvana nut, which I've had a little bit of experience with and I really like. I think it really helps with the way that a Telecaster intonates a lot better. Another thing I changed was the string tree. Now they give you a string tree, they give you a choice of what you want, but I ended up going with this one. I had an extra one on hand. This one is made by Graphtec. It's one of their Tusk string trees. And of course you get the standard jack cup for the Telecaster, but I changed that out for an electro socket, which is a lot better than the traditional Telecaster jack cup. I think this one is just so much better, so much more intuitive. It's threaded and you just screw this right into the body. It's fantastic. I put some glow dots on the side there. Another thing that I got was the painted headstock, which is an upcharge. Since I got the neck with the catalogs on there that was dark, I figured that it would look better with the headstock being painted. And of course on the headstock, I named it Julia. Julia is my late grandmother who I love a lot, and she was a lady that I really loved growing up. She was just one of those ladies where we loved going over to her house when we were younger. She died a few years ago when my kids were just babies. And whenever I got this guitar, I don't always name my guitars, but for some reason I wanted to name this one Julia in honor of her. And it just fit. This one is such a beautiful guitar in every way. It's one of the most perfect playing guitars. And what's funny is I got the idea of naming this guitar Julia before I had even played it. And whenever I got it, this one just felt like home. It felt like it knew me. And it felt like it was drawing stuff out of me. It felt like it was encouraging me. Felt like it was telling me to go farther and go harder and go more. Whenever I play this, it just reminds me of my grandmother. After she died a few years ago, I had a dream of her. She appeared to me as a younger lady, and I looked at her and I said, "Julia, you're so beautiful." And I said, "What are you doing here?" And in the dream, she said, "I just wanted to tell you that whatever you do it with all your heart." I think of that, and I don't know if it was her or not, but I think of how beautiful she was looking at that, and I think of how beautiful this guitar is, how beautiful it sounds, both clean and dirty. I think about how this guitar makes me feel. It feels like home. And I think about how this guitar draws stuff out of me and tells me to do something with all my heart. I've never played a guitar that has done that before. It has such a feedback loop to it that plays me as much as I play it. You know, I know she's looking down from heaven, and I know that whenever I play this, she has a smile on her face. And so whenever I play this, I'm just so thankful for her and for her life. I'm so thankful for everything that she was for our family and for me. I'm so thankful for this guitar. And Julia, I just want you to know that everything that I do from now on, I do with all my heart. This guitar is worthy of the name Julia. It is a beautiful guitar with a beautiful sound, and it is just a masterpiece. Couldn't be more pleased with this guitar and how it turned out. And I definitely think that if you're looking at a guitar, a custom guitar or something like that, definitely check out MJT Customs, because this is the finest guitar I've ever played. I could not believe how it turned out. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you go check out MJT Guitars. With that, I'll leave you with some sound clips here of Julia. Hope you enjoy.